I am a man of honor, integrity, and promise. I pursue all righteousness. I love my family. I will not put my family in harm's way. There is nothing that will keep me from doing the right thing. I am an ambassador of hope and a man of discipline. I am a man worth following. I am a TYRO.
Welcome to TYRO TV. I'm Ron TYRO.
And I'm Cathy TYRO. And for those of you that don't know who we are, Ron and I are the co-founders of the Ridge Project and the co-creators of TYRO.
TYRO is a Latin word which means apprentice, novice, someone learning something new, a warrior.
And what we did is we took our own personal experiences through 15 years of incarceration and a decade in poverty, and we put those into a curriculum to help people coming behind us learn to dream again and then be able to actually achieve those dreams.
You know, when TYRO does, it really empowers you. It infuses you with ambitions to really want to grow, to take what you're experiencing and embracing it, to get you to really understand that though your story may be heartache and pain, but we really embrace it because we know pain and suffering are really our greatest teachers.
So today on TYRO TV, because TYRO is all about making you leaders in your home, your community, and your workplace, we really want to talk about making the best and leveraging that time you have in visits. Because we found that so many people really just take visits for granted. They think they're just going to somehow just turn out great, right? They go in with no plan, they don't think about it, they don't prepare for it except for maybe pressing their shirt, right? But there's so much more to having a good visit with your people.
And you know what, I want to say, fellas, as we get into this, you know, we're really going to hit hard on you guys because it's really, you set the tone, you set the stage on how the visit's going to play out. You bring to the table the attitude, you bring to the table the atmosphere on what's about to happen, whether your visit's 1 hour, 3 hours, or 6 hours. No matter how long that visit is, you get to set the outcome. You get to predict, really, because you're going to decide, how do you want this to end?
And does your family want to come back and see you again, or do they leave thinking, oh man, I hope I don't have to come, or deciding they're not going to come back? And so we're going to tell you how to engage your family, how to engage them in a way that really builds your legacy. Because right now, that's all you have. When you think about building family moments and memories and strength, all you have is your visits and maybe a few phone calls, maybe a few letters. So you have got to learn to leverage them in a way that builds your legacy.
You know, and that's the key thing what you said also a little bit ago, Cathy, when you said sometimes because of your attitude and what you bring to the table in the visit, the family may leave away, you know what, I'm not coming back. Why would I want to come back to be abused, disrespected, taken for granted?
Spend my time, spend my money and all the stress just to be treated like this. So you're going to want to stay tuned because we're going to help you really connect and make the most of those visits. So we'll be right back.
TYRO Dads will help you to see who you really are on the inside by coming to terms with your past, present, and future. You will begin to move forward by using your time on the inside to transform yourself. We know you're not the only one serving time. Your family is too. Overcoming the issues that existed prior to and during incarceration are often more than what many families can survive. TYRO Dads has a unique method of reaching and healing families based on Ron and Catherine TYRO's own personal experiences. TYRO Dads works exclusively with incarcerated fathers who have minor children. The program lasts for 10 weeks and focuses on intensive character development. You'll be taught to take responsibility for your actions, to own it. You'll be prepared to overcome the obstacles of incarceration and transition back into your home and community, both successfully and permanently. Upon successful completion of this program, you will earn the title of TYRO, which means a warrior, someone learning something new. You will be one of the honored, a man worth following. If you think you have what it takes to be a TYRO, or you want to know more, contact your local project facilitator or your institution staff.
Welcome back to TYRO TV. I'm Ron TYRO.
And I'm Cathy TYRO. And today we are talking about setting the plan to have a great visit.
So the first thing we want to talk about, what are we talking about?
Yeah.
Setting a tone. You know, setting the tone for a visit. You know, you've been excited. Somebody called you up or you got a letter and they said they're going to come and visit you, and you've been waiting with anticipation. Maybe you've been waiting a whole month for this visit. Maybe some of you have been waiting a whole year for this visit, or some of you have been waiting a whole week for this visit. But in the meantime, while you're waiting, what are you doing to prepare to have a great ending to this story? right? Ooh.
That's exactly right. Because if you're not prepared, we always say, if you fail to plan, then you plan to fail. The same thing goes for a visit. You have to think about more than just where am I going to be so I can get my pass on time so I can get out there. What is it that I want to eat? Like all of those things, yeah, of course you're going to be thinking about those. But more importantly, what can I do during this visit to really connect with my family? How can I make the most of this visit so that I can really help overcome the pain that they're suffering out there? So we talk about what we really do mean setting the whole tone. Because I remember going to see Ron, and I so enjoyed the experience after Ron sort of stabilized himself after the first few months of being in prison. I so much enjoyed the experience that I began to invite other people. You've got to come with me, because I would leave there refreshed instead of feeling like all the life was sucked out of me. I felt like now I'm infused so that I can walk back out, square my shoulders, put my head up, and face the world. And that's the experience you need to create.
So how do you create that? We're going to get in that in a little bit, but what we're talking about is, gentlemen, the influence you have over your family. Because your family is still looking at you as that man of the house, the patriarch of the family. They're looking at you for answers. Even though you're incarcerated, even though their mistakes have been made and whatever got you there, they know that. But they're still looking, and they're looking for that hope. And they're still counting on you to be who you said you were going to be. Be that person that your lady saw in you. She still sees potential, so she's coming back hoping to get something from you, that this experience that you're having inside is regenerating, is sparking a new sense of life, and that you're embracing it so that you can speak life into your family, speak life into your children. What is it that you bring to the table? You set the tone. You bring life to the visit.
That's such a great word. When you talk about setting the tone, have you ever walked into a place and it's like, oh, it just feels ugly and it feels heavy, and everybody there is just like complaining, and it's just some place you don't really even want to be, and you think, oh my gosh, what the heck did I just walk into? Okay, you don't want to set that tone, because have you ever walked into a place where just you walk in and you automatically feel warmth, you feel like, wow, this is something that I really want to do. So remember, your family's going through, as they transition from the outside world into that visiting room, it is a transition, going from a place of freedom to going to a place of containment, and they are now in that part of that containment, part of that restriction. And so your job is to help them and set them at ease. So what are we talking about?
Wow.
We're talking about setting the right tone so that you can really connect.
What Cathy just said is powerful, and I hope you caught it. And if you didn't write this down, I'm going to suggest you write this down. Going from a place, your family, I remember, Cathy, when I was doing time in a place called Lucasville, and really not understanding what Cathy was experiencing, and my sons, when they were coming through the metal detectors and the shakedown, and they were coming to see me, going from a place of freedom.
And the metal clanging of the doors, right?
Going from a place of freedom, experiencing such an anxiety of fear, right? Because you're going from freedom to containment. And that's powerful.
Of our own free will, so that we could connect with Ron. And so the atmosphere that he created in there made it worth the sacrifice that we had to make to show up. So what we're talking about is exactly that, creating an atmosphere that feels safe even in the midst of this kind of unknown environment that can be intimidating. And if you're unable to do that, you're not going to get very many visits. And even if you do, you're building a legacy that you do not want to have.
So creating a place of safety, even in that prison visiting room, putting your family at a place they know that when you show up there, they're okay. When you show up there, they know you're not going to yell at them. They know you're not going to demand from them. They know that you're there to help lift them up and help empower them to carry on what they're going through for another week, another month, till the next time they get to see you, or the next time they get to talk to you on the phone, or the next letter they get. That's what they're counting on. They're counting on Dad, the patriarch, the man, to bring to them the nourishment.
That's right, the man.
The man, to bring to them the nourishment that they need. That's good stuff, hon.
Right, yeah, it is.
To carry on, because they're on the front lines, guys. Your family's on the front lines, facing every type of ridicule, obstacle, anything that the world can throw at them, and you're in a safe place where you don't have to. You're birds of a feather, what? Flock together. So you guys, all of you are going through the same thing, but what's happening to your family outside is they are enduring shame and suffering, guilt, remorse. All those things are happening. Regret.
Which is exactly why Ron's key word, when I said that's right, the man, I meant that, because what we don't need is we already have all these pressures. We don't need to walk into a place and find a needy little child that needs more of our energy and attention in order for them to feel good. We need somebody that's helping hold our arms up, helping hold our chin up to say, you know what, I have you. And we need to experience that strength. And so that is so important. We need to go in and we need to be affected in a positive way during that visit, not infected, right? Not infected by a poisonous atmosphere. That's what we're talking about today.
Now, is there such a thing as a perfect visit every time, a great visit? No. But this is you're going to still work through this.
Right.
But what I came to realize was that when I had a bad visit with Cathy, it wasn't her fault. It was my fault. And we're going to talk about, when we come back, we're going to really talk about the why. Why is this important? Why is it important for you to understand the atmosphere that you create? Why is it important to know that you want to affect your family, not infect them, right? And why is it so important that you rise up to this occasion where you are the sole provider, if you will, to give that nourishment that your family's looking for?
So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Playing catch, basketball, laughing, and enjoying each other's company. These are all normal things on the outside, but many times are missed in a visitation setting. TYRO Dads brings the same fun experience to the inside through Family Days. As a TYRO Dad, you have the opportunity to participate in this fantastic event. Family Day is designed to allow fathers and families to engage with each other through activities designed to stimulate communication, learning, and play. Family Days will not only be a highlight for you, but for your children as well. The Ridge Project has strategically developed Family Day as an opportunity to help you connect with your child throughout your separation and help both of you develop skills to continue building your relationship when you return home.
Welcome back to TYRO TV. I'm Ron TYRO.
And I'm Cathy TYRO. And today we are talking about something so vitally important to your success and your children's success. And that is creating the right prison visit.
Wow, the right prison visit. That's a heck of a topic to be talking about.
It sounds like an oxymoron, doesn't it?
People look at that, and we said earlier in the show that you go from place of freedom, your family's going from place of freedom to confinement. And when you think of a confinement, you think about shackles, you think about I'm being locked down. But you know what? There's so much freedom that you can bring. Why is it important? Because your family's already in confinement, even out there. They're locked up out there with you. They're doing time with you. And why is it so important? Because they need to experience freedom like you're having inside the prison walls. Because all of us experience this when you're waking up inside a prison. You might be incarcerated physically, but now you get to dream. Something's starting to let loose, right? You're becoming free mentally, right? Emotionally, because now you get to create. You're reinventing yourself.
So in the last segment, I talked about how, when we come to visit, we're looking for a man and not a little boy. And so that doesn't mean that you put on a facade and you pretend like everything's okay all the time and that you've got, this whole wall up. What it does mean is that you are real, that you bring the strength of a man, the strength that can cry and connect, but not the neediness of the little boy. See, little boys need, and men meet needs. So that means...
I think you should say that again.
Yeah.
Yes, that's powerful. Little boys need. Real men meet the needs.
That's right. And that's what your family and your children so desperately need from you, is they don't need you to tell them, hey, send me money, and I need you to take care of this, and I need this from you. They need to know that you have them, that you are meeting their needs by delivering to them something that they can hang on to of hope that they're okay and they're protected even though you're in prison.
And we know this is not going to be easy, guys. We know that this
because
is a
we
process.
Experienced it. We know it's not easy, but it's so worth it.
And you have to work at this. This is an everyday process. You're on this continuous improvement plan. Okay, so the last visit you just had, it went crazy.
Right.
Why is this important? Because you got to understand, why do people even have a bad visit? What is that about? Because I want to really share the story about what a good visit feels like, and so you guys should really understand. A great visit feels like this: when you guys connected, right? When you guys were in the visit room and that vending machine food, it tasted like real steak. Everything was perfect. The candlelit dinner, right? Whatever, you're imagining this.
Well, and a great visit also feels like, wow, reality of wow, we were able to put our walls down and just connect and be real with each other. Maybe we cried a little bit, but we laughed a lot too.
And it was really good up until the time we had to say goodbye. And we had a good kiss goodbye. We held each other for a while, and I went back into this place of the penitentiary, and Cathy went back to the streets. You going back inside the walls, and your family goes out back to the world, right? And then you got to go back and face this. And what happens, the type of hurt and pain that you feel when you say goodbye, when it's a great visit, the pain is so excruciating, like, oh my gosh. And you carry it, and you go back, and you're holding on to the visit, and you're holding on, but it hurts.
But it also, at the same time, that pain, just like when you work out, it brings so much strength. So when we would have a great visit, as much as it hurt to say goodbye, I walked out empowered with strength to be able to face that world again, that world that hated me and hated my children and hated my husband because Ron was in prison. Now I'm empowered to stand up against that and keep going. And that joy that is infused and that strength that is infused, there is no replacement for it. So the point is, no matter how bad it hurts, it is worth the investment.
It is. So now why do people have bad visits? Now, how about when you are having a bad visit and it's time to go? It is so much easier to say goodbye during a bad visit than it is to say goodbye when it's a great visit. And that's why people have bad visits. Right. They don't come prepared for one thing, right? They're coming in with this entitlement mentality. Because, right, guys, when it's a visit, make sure you get here on time because I want that sandwich.
That's right. Make sure you get me these things out of the vending machine. Make sure you bring an update about the lawyer. Make sure you bring all the stuff about my case. Make sure that you let me know when my food box is coming, right?
Yeah.
The money.
And I did all that. Right. I did all that. Right, until I really began to understand this is not about me. I have to empower my family, my children, to become strong while they're going through in the midst of this storm. Right?
See, when there's a bad visit, so it might be easy to leave, but it's hard for your family to continue their journey in life. So it's easy to say, okay, fine, but then they go out and it's like the same thing they're experiencing, the same rejection that they're experiencing in society, now they're experiencing in their relationship with you. So then they start thinking things like, what is the point? Why am I even doing this? I can get this experience out here. Why am I going to pay to go and have that experience inside a prison when he's the reason that I'm having the experience out here?
Why is it important? It's because we need to stop our children from experiencing this experience.
That's right.
We want to empower our children to know that, this is just an event in our life. This is not a lifestyle. Sons and daughters, you will not have to experience this. I am going to stop this from ever taking place again in our family's history. This is not going to be part of your legacy or part of my legacy. This is just part of our story.
And that, as Winston Churchill said, failure is not fatal. What is important is courage. And when your children learn that your failure is not fatal, that you didn't die, but instead that you can overcome that and you still have a legacy to give to them, that infuses them with the hope that they need and that connection that they need in order to be successful out here. The why is so big. It is so important, Dad, that you connect during these visits, that you plan these visits.
So we come back, we're going to talk about how to implement, how to apply these principles into your life, how to have a great visit. So stay tuned, you don't want to miss this.
Dear son, it's been hard these last few years, watching you grow up without me in the picture. Never taking the time to find out how you were or what was going on in your life. You're just a boy, I thought. You don't need me. I didn't need my dad. He was never around, I told myself. But I was wrong, son. I'm supposed to be a grown man. I was selfish. I was stupid. I was thinking of me, not you. If I could go back, son, and change things, I would. It's taken me all this time being selfish to finally grow up and realize I need to be a responsible man. That's what I finally learned, not from prison, but the TYRO program. It's all about becoming a better, stronger man. Wish I would have gotten it sooner. Everything looks different to me now. I'm a changed person. I know I need to be there for you now. It's not about me anymore. It's not about being cool. It's not about who I run with. It's about Mom. It's about you. It's about being a better man, learning something new in my life. It's about being a TYRO, a man worth following. I'm your dad. You're my son, and I love you. I am a TYRO. I'm a TYRO. Dad.
If you think you have what it takes to be a TYRO or just want to know more, contact your local Ridge Project facilitator or your caseworker.
Welcome back to TYRO TV. I'm Ron TYRO.
And I'm Cathy TYRO. And today we are talking about a really, really, really important topic, and that is how to have a good visit even while you're in prison.
You know, this is a topic that's really close to our heart, and it should be close to yours, because this is where you get to connect. This is where you get to have a tomorrow. This is where you get to create your future, right? This is where you get to dream together. But if you're not dreaming together, if you're not looking at that tomorrow, then why are you, what is going on? Because this is the only place you have to connect. You're writing the letters, you're having the phone calls, but now this is where the rubber meets the road,
Right.
the face-to-face time.
This is vital to the success of your family. When we look back at our family, we do, and it probably sounds totally crazy, we have some really great memories of prison visits. We spent 15 years in prison visits, and that was our only time to connect as a family. So we made the most of those moments and really, really cherished some of the moments we had together. And so now, in this segment, we're going to talk to you and give you that practical advice, things that we did that you can do also.
So the first we want to talk about is the attitude. You have to bring a positive attitude to every visit, no matter what's going on in those walls, no matter what's going on in your dormitory or that day room, no matter what is happening at your job site inside that penitentiary. You have to come with a positive attitude, smile on your face, to understand that, you know what, that world, I'm leaving it behind because I'm coming into this world. I'm coming to a family. Now, we're not saying negate what's happening, because you're dealing with that, but you got to be ready, man. Come on, they are counting on you to be that joy in their life.
So decide that this visit is about imparting hope and dreams and opportunity into your children's lives. When you walk in with that, as you know what, this is what the objective is, this is what this goal is, then it's easy to set the pressures of the prison behind you. And I know this because Ron did it, and he did it for 15 years.
But it takes practice, gentlemen. Practice does not make perfect. Practice makes permanent. It's something that you have to be conscious of, and you have to be determined. Proper preparation prevents poor performance.
That's right.
You have to have the 5 P's down, Tyros.
And that's like a true tongue twister. I can't even say it.
So, but you have to mentally prepare, blocking the things out that are happening in that world, because when you go home, you're not taking that world with you. The world you're going to be taking with you is the world you're creating in that prison visit room, and that
you're
dreams.
Walking out with your family. So the second thing that you need to do is prepare ahead 4 questions. Now, 4 questions are questions that make people feel like they're being engaged, like you're wanting to connect with them. They're open-ended questions, which means you can't answer it with a yes or no. So it can't be, did you enjoy the ride today? It should be, wow, how was your ride today? But whatever the questions are, 4 of them. If there's more than 4, then your family begins to feel like they're in the Inquisition. And so that number 4 is really important. Find 4 questions that you really want to ask. How's school? Or it's something that you know that your children or family are going through. It can be something that's exciting in their lives, or it could be something that's a challenge in their lives.
Now, we know that what we're going to give you may not be done in this order, because it takes a minute for your family to let their wall down.
Right.
They just experienced an horrific experience coming through that visiting gate when they parked the parking lot, had to go through the visiting metal detectors, and had to put their stuff in a little box and all that type of stuff, go and be inspected, if you will, right? So they just went through some trauma, and you got to give them time to decompress that,
That's
to
right.
really come back, okay, I know that was the screw, and it doesn't, you can't get, they cannot become normal to them. You have to remind them that is just an event, not a lifestyle. Right, so let them experience that alongside with you and say, hey, how you doing?
Right.
Was it okay coming through here?
That's a great point, because if as soon as they sit down, you go boom, 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 and ask questions, you're off on the wrong foot. And so those 4 questions are questions to ask throughout the visit. Those are questions to, as you're relaxing, as you're beginning to connect with each other, to just ask those questions periodically, like across a time span, every 15, 20 minutes, or when it's natural.
I remember when Cathy would come to see me, and she'd bring my sons to see me, and our sons, and And I was silent. I didn't start the visit with conversation. I just said to them, as we sit down, I said, wow, let's just look at each other. Let's just take time and just appreciate each other's look. Because it'd been a while since I've seen them. I wanted to absorb.
And we would do things like, oh, put your hand up against my hand. Oh, look how much your hand has grown. Wow, look at you. Just little things that just really connect. And so that's important to take that time. And Ron would also let them say, do you guys have anything, so tell me about your world. And let them just share whatever it is they wanted to share, which is our number 3. Relax, connect, and let them share. Let your family talk about what they want to talk about before you get into questions. The questions are to help stimulate conversation so that if they don't really have things that they're talking about, you give them those topics.
Because, if you're dealing with your children, guys, they're hurt, they're angry, they're mad. Some might even be bitter.
Right.
Some are even resenting coming to see you. And you got to know that, and you got to accept that. But you don't have to just let them stay there. You can help them and navigate through that experience.
Don't give up. So even if they're resenting being there and your children have their wall up, don't give up on them.
And don't take it personal.
Right.
D-tip.
Yep.
D-tip. Don't take it personal. Don't give up. Love them where they're at and appreciate where they're at because they have every right to be where they're at.
So number 4 is what you really want to do is make sure that you come out with a game or activity plan. If there are games and activities in the visiting room, then know, okay, you know what, there's cards and we're going to play cards. Or there's books that we can read together. But plan something so that you've got a way to really connect with your kids while you're there, and it's something that's going to be fun and low stress.
And these are the icebreakers,
Right.
They're coming in from a high stressful situation, and now you're coming in playing checkers, and it sets the tone. Everybody can have fun. You let them, they win, you win, and it's good. And then, one of the games that I taught Blake and Brandon when they would come to visit me, we didn't have games when I was incarcerated. So I learned how to play chess when I was inside. And so I taught Blake and Brandon, we would get the paper towels from the vending machine, and I'd rip them up, and I'd get a pencil, and I'd start writing all the pieces on the paper, and then we drew the checkered board, and we learned how to play chess with napkins.
And so the last thing on how to create a great visit experience is to eat something together. If your family doesn't have money to buy whole meals, that's okay. You can get one candy bar, cut it up into however many pieces of people there, and share. There's just something about sharing a meal or sharing a snack together. So as they go out, they're going to remember that experience, and every time they taste that candy bar or they see that, it's going to connect them back with a memory with you. And so these tips are really important, and these are valuable things that you can do on every prison visit to help really build that family legacy that you want to have.
Remember, proper preparation prevents poor performance. So when we come back, we're going to wrap all this up. So stay tuned. You don't want to miss this.
TYRO Dads will help you to see who you really are on the inside by coming to terms with your past, present, and future. You'll begin to move forward by using your time on the inside to transform yourself. We know you're not the only one serving time. Your family is too. Overcoming the issues that existed prior to and during incarceration are often more than what many families can survive. TYRO Dads has a unique method of reaching and healing families based on Ron and Catherine TYRO's own personal experiences. TYRO Dads works exclusively with incarcerated fathers who have minor children. The program lasts for 10 weeks and focuses on intensive character development. You'll be taught to take responsibility for your actions, to own it. You'll be prepared to overcome the obstacles of incarceration and transition back into your home and community, both successfully and permanently. Upon successful completion of this program, you will earn the title of TYRO, which means a warrior, someone learning something new. You will be one of the honored, a man worth following. If you think you have what it takes to be a TYRO, or you want to know more, contact your local project facilitator or your institution staff.
Welcome back to TYRO TV. I'm Ron TYRO.
And I'm Cathy TYRO, and today we are talking about prison visits and creating the best experience you can for that time with your family.
Talking with you, Cathy, has really brought back a lot of memories. A lot of good memories and a lot of bad memories.
A lot of painful memories.
I remember even having situations where I took everything personal and it was all about me, and I really created havoc with the kids and with you because I couldn't get past me. You know, and once I got to a place of where I needed to bring positive energy, I needed to really bring a joyful experience to what you guys are having if I wanted you guys to come back.
Actually, what we talk about is really assuming your rightful role as leader of our family and our children. And once you do that, gentlemen, when you actually look at this as an opportunity to assume your role as that gentle coach, that leader in your family, and I don't mean that dictator. We literally mean leading by example and connecting in a way that your children are looking up to you and realizing, wow, there's an opportunity when my dad comes home, and in the meantime, I still have access to my dad, and he's contributing to the value in my life.
You know, I like what you said, Kathy, that gentle coach. Your family's not looking for a drill sergeant.
Right. They don't need that.
They don't need that. And so you got to remember, when you leave that penitentiary, when you leave the walls and you come to visit room, that drill sergeant mentality that's happening in there with all that testosterone and all those men, you got to know when to turn that off, because they're looking for a gentle giant. Ooh, right? That's who your family needs, a gentle giant who's going to give some great wisdom to them to help them navigate and empower them to get through the life struggles that they're enduring every day while you're in there.
Right. And that this father is involved in their lives and knowing what has happened in their lives. That's why those questions are so important that we talked about earlier. So as we close out today's show, we just really want to encourage you. This is your opportunity to connect, to really get to know your kids, and to let them know that you know who they are. You know what it is they're struggling with, and you are there for them to help navigate and lead them out of this season in their lives.
You know, this has been a really great topic for us, and we hope that you've been able to enjoy the topic with us also. And if there's anything that we can leave you with, it's one more thing. Listen, do not take these visits for granted. Do not take them for granted. Nobody owes you anything. When your family comes to see you, embrace them, celebrate them, love them.
Thanks for letting us be part of your journey. So always remember, until next time, that we are rooting for you.
I am a man of honor.
I am a man of integrity.
I am a man of faith. I am the antidote.
I am a man of discipline. I am a leader.
I am strong.
I am a man worth following.
I am a TYRO.